Hey, what's going on, chess lovers? This is Maurice Bishop Chess. So y'all know my slogan: "Life is a game of chess." Hey, before I even start this video, I just want to say thank you for all of my students who's been supporting me with the Maurice Bishop Chess University. Like been rocking with me. Been actually letting people know, how you're getting better and everything. I really, really appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. So I definitely wanted to shout out my students out because they really been with me and giving me wisdom, giving me advice and things like that. I definitely appreciate it, man. I really feel like it's definitely like a family, in this group, man. Like I couldn't ask for better students, man. Like honestly, guys, like I am very, very grateful, for y'all, like for real. Um, Definitely very grateful. All right, guys. Without further ado, I mean, I just had to get that out, guys, because y'all don't understand that my students, man, they mean a lot to me, man. They're awesome, man. But anyway, guys, I do want to show y'all this beautiful Elshad system for black, in which you already know I have this actual course, in my university course as well, guys. So I'm definitely going to show you this game against a FIDE master. He's a 2589, very very strong, guys. Right. So my opponent played as white. I played as black. He played knight f3. I played c6, c3, queen a5, and then d4. Now notice, guys, in this position, um, I can't automatically do like how I love my favorite setup with queen a5 and then pawn g5. I can't do g5 right away because the knight and the bishop is guarding that square. So I actually had to start out with h6 first, right? E4 is played, and then I play G5. H3, and then Bishop G7. Obviously, guys, when it comes to the engines, obviously they're not copying or they're not going to show the moves that they want. Well, they're going to show the moves that they do, but obviously they don't agree with the moves that I make. Which y'all already know that because it's the L shot, right? Bishop b2, and I play d6. I said I castle. White castles king side, and then I go knight b to d7, in which the engine was actually recommending knight f6. And as you can see, with white, white is getting that plus 1.7. Knight d2, I go knight f6, queen c2, and then of course g4. Remind you guys, the engine wanted me to castle kingside, but y'all know when it comes to Elshad, I ain't castling. I mean, you can castle with the Elshad, but in this case, I don't castle. I immediately go g4. That's where I go. Ace catches g4. I go knight catches g4, and then knight c4. So the move that I play now, usually, guys, I would go queen c7, but because I feel as though that I had the G file open, which is another reason why I went G4. I went G4 just to get the G file open automatically. That's what I wanted. Now, with the rook, if I go my rook G8, now I have the G file and it's looking perfect. So, with that being said, that's why instead of going queen C7, I actually did queen H5, and I just think this is powerful because the thing is, guys, I'm looking at it how the knight cannot really move anywhere right now due to queen captures h2 will be checkmate. So something like knight h2, it's a blunder because the queen captures h2. I'm pretty sure y'all already know that, right? Like for instance, if knight h2, the threat is pretty much bishop capturing the knight, but of course, this would be checkmate. That would be a blunder. I actually got somebody like that one time, um, with that. So just always keep that in mind. But queen h5, and then my opponent plays on knight e3, trying to get the knight off of that g4 square, and I actually wound up going knight catches e3. Uh, I go knight catches e3, guys, because it could definitely be very dangerous of me keeping that knight on g4. But either way, it wouldn't matter because he'll just take anyway. Bishop catches e3. I go knight f6. I'm still getting ready to do my threat with knight g4. My opponent goes knight h2. Really just trying to get my queen out the way. But I just still keep the threat on with knight g4. My opponent, and you're probably wondering why I go knight g4. the whole point of me going knight g4 is I wanted to get a lot of these defenders out of the way. Obviously the knight, obviously the light square bishop. What white doesn't know is what I'm trying to do is once I exchange all these pieces, I'm going to castle queenside and then bring the rook on the g file, which is pretty much my plan, which is what I want to do all along. Which is why I do knight g4, and of course, like I thought my opponent would, he actually takes. I go bishop capture g4. He takes. I go queen capture g4. Now it's looking very good for me now. Because I have the queen on g4. Now I just need to put my rook on a g8. And I'm loving it, right? Like Mickey D's, guys. I'm loving it. So f3 is played. You know, he just again harassing my queen again. I go queen h5, in which the engine didn't agree with the queen h5. The engine wanted me to go somewhere like queen g6. You know, that's the move. But I chose queen h5, and I'm gonna tell you why I chose queen h5. I chose queen h5 because after the move on rook a d1, I decided to go bishop f6. Now, just from this position, can y'all even realize, like, can y'all actually see why I do bishop f6? Can y'all actually see that for yourselves? Why? This is the reason why I kept my queen on h5 because guys, I have the h file. I have the h file, so I'm not going to move out of that h file. And then of course, guys, my rook is here, so I definitely want to go on the g file. But I saw another nice move that I discovered with bishop f6. And this is a very silent move, and it will get people every single time with bishop f6, which is why I love it. So queen b3, I castle queenside because the thing is, guys, um, what I used to do is I used to just give up pawns, even pawns that's close to my king, in order to attack, and realize that that's not really the best way to go. That used to have been a lot of my weakness at the time. So now, I don't try to rush it the way that I used to. So now I just castle queenside, protect my pawn. My opponent goes d5, and I go c5 because I want to lock everything in. I feel as though his king side is open. I don't need to open up my king side. I don't need to do that, right? He does another good move. He goes queen a4, and again, guys, I so wanted to rush the move bishop h4. In which, honestly, to be honest with you guys, I think the engine was okay. The engine was actually telling me rook hg8, which I didn't do. I didn't even do that move. Um, I thought bishop h4 probably would have worked too, but it was saying rook hg8. But the move that I played is I played king b8. I thought this was I thought it was a safe move. I thought it was a prophylactic move. But my opponent did do another good move. He played b4. Like he's really trying to open up, you know, the file. So it looks like I'm like in trouble and everything, but not necessarily, guys. I'm not in trouble at all. I actually do the move h4. That's exactly what I played. So you're probably wondering why h4. Well, the whole point, guys, if he takes, or that's actually what my opponent did. He played bishop f2. But the whole point, guys, by him taking, I'm threatening bishop h2, where I'm threatening checkmate. And that's pretty much my threat, guys, where it's going to be, I always say it's going to be hard for him to stop it. Something like rook e1. And I want to show you what this. So look at this. Queen h2 check. King f1. Queen h2. Um, Obviously, guys, if he comes here, queen captures g2, this is just nasty. Black is definitely just winning in his position. But if he does something like bishop here, I would just take the pawn off. You know, I'll just be up a pawn. And I do have this h5, h4, h3, and the game is pretty much over. Um, Even if he did try to do something like rook b1, it doesn't matter. Even with rook a6, I got rook d7. So you're not gonna be able, you're not gonna think about breaking through here because I still got rook b7. So and as you can see, black has a small advantage in this, in which I kind of still think this is a big advantage for black, in my opinion. And white just doesn't know it. So that's what that is, guys. White will be in tons of trouble and everything. So that's the whole point. But of course, guys, my opponent played the move bishop f2. which is what he played. I played rook g8. Rook d3 is played. Now he could have played this bishop catches h4, but then I would have went queen catches h4. Even if rook f2, rook c8, and again black still has an advantage in this position due to, again, I have the g file, I have the h file. The king really can't move anywhere because the queen h1 check. I feel as though black definitely has an advantage in this. All right, but anyway, after rook h to g8, my opponent played rook d3. Because obviously, guys, I was threatening queen catches f3, where mate is inevitable. That was my threat. So instead of taking the bishop, which probably would have been the best move, he actually goes rook d3. So after rook d3, guys, I actually do a move that is like so beautiful, guys. I almost missed this move, literally. I almost missed this move, and I actually was like almost in, like literally almost in time trouble due to me thinking a little bit on this sacrifice, because again, because I know, guys, I kind of break my principle again, because I always told y'all it, if I had three or more pieces surrounding the king, I should be able to attack, right? So obviously, guys, in my principle, I was like, well, I do have three pieces, one, two, and three. But the problem with this, guys, I was like, man, is that even enough for me to even do any type of mates? But then again, guys, I'm thinking back like, well, shoot, I do have another rook in the game too, so maybe I can do something. And his bishop is blocking his own way. Like the bishop is blocking the king from getting to another space. So I came up with the conclusion, guys, that this has to be it, which is why I played the move rook captures g2. I play rook capture g2 because after he takes, I go rook g8. Now, of course, you're probably thinking, what happened is bishop h1. Well, guys, this will be checkmate automatically. This is like nasty, nasty. You know what I mean? So I was thinking anywhere that he goes, because his bishop is blocking, it doesn't matter. I just got checkmate, like regardless, which is crazy, right? So after he takes, he actually blocks with the bishop because he sees that that's the only best way to do it, right? Because if he does anything else, move the king anywhere else, then he's gonna get checkmated. So he had to block with the bishop, and then try to give himself some space, right? So I played rook captures on g3. You're probably wondering why not the bishop captures. Well, the thing is, guys, you want to use forcing moves. Forcing moves. Taking with the bishop. I don't know. Taking with the bishop. Yeah, he does. Well, okay. So taking with the bishop does win the game, but it does make the game a little bit longer. Which that's what the engine is saying. I just take. Obviously, guys, this was a bullet game, so definitely, guys. I can't make these type of moves like this, where he's, you know, going to sack a queen and then try to beat me on time. That's not the way to go. But the best move here is actually doing this check. Taking with check and everything, and at least still having all my pieces available, right? So my opponent did play king f2 and rook catches f3 check, which is the best move. Obviously, guys, if he goes somewhere like king g1, obviously this loses anyway. Queen g4 check. Um, Literally, it doesn't matter where he goes. Maybe here, queen h3 comes back, rook catches f1 is checkmate. Uh, so yeah, that's pretty much over, right? But after rook catches f3, it's a double check because I'm checking with the rook, but I'm also checking with the dark square bishop. But also with this dark square bishop is guarding this square on e1. And of course, guys, like I told you before, if he goes back to king g2 or e1, obviously queen g4 is coming in and it's going to be mate soon. So my opponent plays king e2, but that's fine because now I have the move rook f2 check. So notice, guys, he can't come here. He can't come here because of the queen is guarding that square. So I'm playing moves where I'm guarding all the squares, right? I'm guarding this row. Obviously, the only move he got is king e1 or king e3, in which he goes king e1, and then of course Queen e2 is checkmate. It didn't matter if he came here. If he came here, this is still checkmate. He still get the same treatment. Yeah, pretty nasty, guys. Pretty nasty stuff. So, but yeah, guys. So I know the engine don't agree with everything that I do, but I wanted to show you this. The knight g4. I just feel as though even though the engine don't agree with anything, with everything that I do, I do believe I still like the pawn. Pushing the pawn to g4 and going knight capture g4 where I open up the g file. I think this is helpful. I think this works. You know, so you ever get a position like this, guys, it's something that you can definitely do in one of your own games. Especially if they play like I said, queen a5 and then d4, and then obviously you want to go g5, but you can't because they're guarding with the knight and with the bishop, as you can see, guys. Which is why I just go h6. All right. So again, guys, always well, the moral of this video is always look for the G files, look for open files, guys. Definitely do that. Also, don't rush your attack so soon to the point where you start making your king uncomfortable. To the point where your opponent start, you know, attacking your queen side. Now he's winning pawn. So don't be too hasty. Don't be um don't rush it too quick to the point where you're leaving your king in jeopardy. You don't want to do that. So that's why with guys, I was being patient. That's why when he went to attack the queen side, I cast the queen side to protect my pawn. And when he wanted to push the pawn again, I pushed the pawn up to try to lock the position in. So whatever you do, try to keep the king as safe as possible, and then after that, then you can attack. So that's what I did. So I'm just hoping y'all do the same thing. Again, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Definitely like, share content, or I'm sorry, guys. Definitely like, share, and comment. That's what I meant to say. Like, share, comment. Let me know what you think, and also, guys, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. All right, guys. Peace.